This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Let's go back to the base definition of what emotional outsourcing is, because it'll start to answer this question. So I define it as when we chronically and habitually source our sense of the three vital human needs: safety, belonging, and worth, from everyone and everything outside of ourselves instead of from within, at a great cost to self.
You're listening to Make Some Noise podcast, episode number 696, with guest Beatriz Victoria Albina. Welcome to Make Some Noise podcast, your guide for strategies, tools, and insight to empower yourself. I'm your host, Andrea Owen, global speaker, entrepreneur, life coach since 2007, and author of 3 books that have been translated into 18 languages and are available in 22 countries. Each week, I'll bring you a guest or a lesson that will help you maximize unshakable confidence, master resilience, and make some noise in your life. You ready? Let's go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. I am so glad that you are here. Happy fall. If you're listening to this, even sort of in real time, it is the end of September 2025, and fall is probably my favorite season. It's a draw between spring and fall. And we have a lot of really great things happening over here on this end, including a book coming out this December. My 4th book is coming out. Live like you give a damn. There's going to be free classes and all of the wonderful things I do when I have a book coming out. And a new program. I'm going to just say, if you are not on my email list, you might want to do that. That way you don't miss things like early pricing on programs when I first open registration, free stuff when my books come out, all these really cool opportunities that you'll be the first to know about. If you head on over to andreaowen.com/free, that's where you can do it. I only send an email about once a week, so I'm not a spammer. You can rely on that. You're welcome. And I am, as always, very excited about today's guest. She is a repeat guest, one that I could not wait to have her come on to talk about something very important, emotional outsourcing. You're going to learn more about what that is in just a second as we get into the interview. But for those of you that don't know her, let me tell you a little bit about her. Beatriz Victoria Albina is a master certified somatic life coach, UCSF-trained family nurse practitioner, and breathwork meditation guide with a passion for helping humans socialized as women realize that they are their own best healers by reconnecting with their bodies and minds so they can break free from codependency, perfectionism, and people-pleasing and reclaim their joy. So without further ado, here is Bea. Bea, welcome back to the show.
I'm so thrilled to be here. You're the best. Thanks for having me.
Well, of course. I feel like this may only be your second time, which feels like a travesty because I know I reach out to you probably more than is necessary. Like help me with my nervous system. So I'm lovingly referring to you as like my go-to for nervous system help. And I am so excited that your book, this is your first book, right?
It is my first book. Yeah, I'm already scheming on the second.
Of course, as we do. Yeah.
Like you do. Yeah.
Congrats on the book, baby. End Emotional Outsourcing, how to overcome. This is where I want people to listen. How to overcome your codependent, perfectionist, people-pleasing habits and reclaim your life. Because everyone listening, I can guarantee that everyone listening, at least one of those, they're like, ugh, me.
Mm-hmm.
So let's jump into it. Let's start from the beginning. What is emotional outsourcing, and how does it help folks finally understand themselves when they understand what that is?
So it's the term I came up with as the umbrella for those 3 habits of codependent, perfectionist, and people-pleasing relating. And I came up with a term because I didn't like any of those other terms.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody can actually define codependency. Like, what is that?
It's tricky.
It's tricky. And the linguistics of it, it's codependent, but but I'm so independent and I don't need nobody. But how am I codependent? But I'm doing all the codependent things. It just never like clicked. And perfectionist, are you kidding me? I'm not a perfectionist. I mess up all the time.
Yeah.
Like, for example, that one time I got a 99 on a quiz.
Yeah.
I'm not a perfectionist. Are you kidding me?
Or there are some things I say like it's good enough, but maybe
but rarely
things. Yeah.
Right. And then people pleaser, there's no way I was that because so many people were displeased with me. And actually, I've been meaning to ask you, are you mad at me? Are you mad at me? Do you love me? Do you hate me? Because your opinion of me matters more than my own. Wait, what? Why? I just kept seeing both in my clinical medical practice and then with my coaching clients, so many people, generally women, I generally work with human socialized as women, living out these habits and having these habits F up every area of their relating to self and the world, but really eschewing the labels and therefore not getting help. That sucks, right? Really smart, incredible women really suffering, but not knowing where to turn. So I created this new term that I really think really encapsulates it because it's what we're doing. We're outsourcing our emotional wellness, our emotional health, our emotions.
Interesting. I love this way of looking at it. And these are topics I talk about pretty regularly in my books and on my podcast, but I love when people come on and explain it from a different angle that I do, because that could be the time where it clicks. And so that's why my next question is that I love talking about it from this way is around the nervous system. So can you talk about why, like, what does the nervous system have to do with it? And can you specifically talk about maybe like, is the nervous system the reason that it's so hard for us to try to use talk therapy or intellectualize our way to stop doing those behaviors?
Yeah. So let's go back to the base definition of what emotional outsourcing is, because it'll start to answer this question. So I define it as when we chronically and habitually, so we're not in agency, we're not in choice, we're not in intention. It's when we chronically and habitually source our sense of the three vital human needs: safety, belonging, and worth, from everyone and everything outside of ourselves instead of from within, at a great cost to self.
I want people to pause.
Yeah.
And rewind that. Go back 30 seconds and listen to that again, because I think their whole life will kind of flash before their eyes.
I mean, it's most of us though, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're living in these default patterns. We're living from the stories of what we're supposed to do to be a good girl, a good mother, a good wife, a good, right? We're living in someone else's story and not realizing how deeply that impacts every area of our life. When you're a kid who didn't get attuned to the way you needed, your nervous system learns that your wants, your needs, your preferences, your desires, your authenticity, and not so smart.
Yeah.
Not a smart thing to live from, right? Because again, safety, belonging, worth, right? If you're wildly different from your family and they don't like it, or if like, I don't know, my partner's three older sisters were an opera singer, a ballerina, and a professional ice skater. Like,
which one of these things doesn't belong?
Right, my butch wife, right? And so like, there's so much, like even that, right? Because I think people go to, oh, there must be abuse or substance use, right? No, it can just be this pressure to be someone you're not, or not being seen for who you are. Or I was way too loud, way too boisterous, way too much for my parents, right? They just didn't have the skills and capacity to hold it. So I'm bringing these examples in to say, because I often get the question, like, do I need to have big capital T trauma to have emotional outsourcing? No, silly goose, right? It's just what happens when our authenticity is not a smart, safe, good thing to be, to do, to have.
Which our culture will give that. If your family of origin didn't give it to you, the culture will tell you you're wrong.
100%. Right. And so part of creating emotional outsourcing is a response to the original framework that came out of the war on drugs, of the codependent wife, right? The enabling, long-suffering wife of the alcoholic man, right? It's a pretty tired trope, honestly. And we can problematize it in many ways, one of which is caring is seen as inherently enabling, right? Way to throw women under the bus, all nourishing people, nurturing people under the bus, not interested. It also, that old paradigm completely leaves sociopolitical fact out. Like, how can you grow up under the patriarchy, white settler colonialism, and late stage capitalism and not believe that you're inherently wrong and bad and need to perform being someone else in order to be loved and safe?
Especially like if you grow up socialized as a woman where
Right.
we learn very young that our worth and we get praise and acceptance is based on nurturing our body and appearance, perfectionism, all that.
All of that, right? You have to leave yourself to be loved. It's wild, right? And so we are doing ourselves such a vast disservice when we when we think of our habits as something that's wrong with our character, something that's wrong with who we are, that we are broken, we are defective. Oh, I just have this problem with my thinking just because it's me and I'm a problem. We need to zoom out.
Yeah.
Right. So to loop back into the nervous system, because that was the original question.
Look at us, two ADHD people remembering.
Girl, God, I go so far afield, but I do always come back, which I'm like grateful to my brain for that. But I will go on such a journey. So our nervous system learns that certain feelings, sensations, emotions are not safe to have. And so two things. One, we start to have sacred anger, frustration, annoyance, or sadness, or joy, right? Because it runs the gamut of what was not safe growing up. And the nervous system freaks out. It punts us up into sympathetic activation, into fight or flight, into freak out, into like, I can't be happy. The other shoe's going to drop, right? Or whatever your case is. And so we then come to have this really tense, pressured, constricted relationship to ourselves, our own minds, our own bodies, our own thoughts, our own experience of life, and the world, right? Because we're always on guard against us having big feelings, because that's treacherous. And then the almost more dangerous thing, which is someone else having big feelings, because so many of us learned as children that other people's emotions are our responsibility. So I can't let you have anger, sadness, disappointment, frustration. I got to manage that. I got to fix that. That's on me. A woman said to me the other day, who was joining my 6-month program, she said, when my husband comes home grumpy, which is pretty much every night, I have to be the clown. Like, I have to make him feel better. It's my responsibility. And she truly believed that. And I'm not dissing her. I'm dissing the system. Like, this is a grown 45-year-old man, and it's your job to manage his grump every day.
Yeah.
What are we talking about here, right?
We don't even realize it. I think, well, and I want to kind of see if I'm summarizing this correctly. So our nervous systems early on look for patterns and evidence, and I'm speaking broadly there, of certain things that will point to our safety. And I'm like using air quotes, even if that safety is ultimately not good for us. So when I mean safety, it's things like pushing away our emotions.
Right.
Safety is like taking responsibility for other people's emotions.
Being
Safety is being inauthentic, not setting boundaries, being perfect all the time, not making mistakes. Like, those are the patterns that it tries to form and looks for the evidence that is the safe place to stay.
Right. Because think of little kiddos. With all due respect, they're not very good drivers.
No.
They tend to not really understand how to buy groceries, right? They are dependent creatures. Like, we're not giraffes. We're just like, all right, I'm born, now I'm running, right? We need bigger adults. We need bigger humans for our literal survival. And since we're not fools, especially not the two of us and your listeners, we're smarty pantalones, we learn what will keep those people feeding us. And what will keep those people approving of us, because we understand that nobody feeds the kid they don't like.
Right.
Right.
Maybe gets angry or at the kid that they do like.
Correct. Right. So if you can be the kid they like, you're made in the shade. You're golden. You're good to go. The humans will abandon self towards safety. We'll just do that. Right.
Yeah.
That knocks on to like a whole life of living for someone else. Living for everyone else. The number of women in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s who tell me, I have no idea who I am. I have no idea what I want, what I need, what I like. I don't know my preferences. I'm scared to pick what's for dinner, because what if I get it wrong? What if somebody else doesn't like it? Right. And so here's the nervous system piece, all these little things that should objectively not be very activating to a nervous system, such as what's for dinner, what movie should we watch, where do you want to go, where do you want to go?
Can the laundry wait?
Can the laundry wait, etc. What career do I want to do? Right? Things that shouldn't lead to like this hypervigilant activation in the nervous system do.
Yeah.
Because the minutia is coded as dangerous, because the minutia might make someone else have a challenging feeling.
Yes. Oh,
I know. It's so friggin' exhausting.
I want to ask a specific, we need to take a quick ad break. When we get back, I want to ask you about like the freezing that happens instead of like using the strategy. So we'll be right back.
DSW, Designer Shoe Warehouse, is the one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. With sneakers, boots, and everything in between, for every style, mood, and occasion, you'll definitely find shoes that get you at prices that get your budget. DSW has what you need, but more importantly, they have what you didn't even know you wanted. You never know what you'll find at DSW. Find the shoes that get you at prices that get your budget at DSW stores or DSW.com.
This show is sponsored by MIDI Health. Let's be real. Midlife healthcare for women, historically trash. If you've been told like I have, it's just aging or you'll be fine when you're not sleeping, you're sweating through your sheets, or feeling like a stranger in your own body, you are very much not alone. Even today, 75% of women seeking menopause or perimenopause care are left untreated. That's not okay. But there's good news. It's time for MIDI. MIDI is a women's telehealth clinic founded by experts in midlife health, and they actually listen. You get one-on-one, face-to-face care tailored to your unique needs. And they're the only women's telehealth brand covered by major insurance, making expert care accessible and affordable. From hormone therapy to weight loss support and lifestyle coaching, MIDI has your back. Ready to feel your best and write your second act script? Visit joinmidi.com today to book your personalized, insurance-covered virtual visit. That's joinmidi.com. MIDI, the care women deserve.
I had the time of my life. I never felt this way before.
From building timelines to assigning the right people and even spotting risks across dozens of projects, Monday Sidekick knows your business, thinks ahead, and takes action. One click on the star and consider it done.
And I owe it all to you.
Try Monday Sidekick, AI you'll love to use on Monday.com.
Okay, you spent a decent amount of time talking about the nervous system. So is that related to when people listening to this podcast probably listen to yours, they read the books, they do the things. And so they might even have a book. Even in one of my books, I outline a step-by-step process of how to set a boundary, how to have a hard conversation. They freeze and then they feel bad about it. So is the freezing part because of the nervous system is driving the bus, or is it more complicated than that?
Well, so our nervous systems are always in response to environment, right? To culture, society, family, and learning, right? There is that like core mammalian freak out thing, right? Like loud noises.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, that kind of freeze is I think it's the mammalian dorsal shutdown plus the conditioning of, as a good person, right, there's so much pressure and so much purity culture around #wellness right now.
Yeah.
If you're not #doing it right, you're a #bad person.
Right.
That's where I'm trying to go, right? Of like, oh, I'm failing at healing. Oh, I'm failing at boundaries, which means I'm failing at whatever my sound bath teacher told me to do.
Or what I saw on a meme on Instagram that was like 5 words long.
Exactly. And so I think that's the confluence. I'm trying to like bring that nuance and that richness in, that there's a level where, yes, the freeze itself is your body saying this is too much, too dangerous, too fast. It's overloading the circuits, right? Like I don't have the capacity as a mammalian nervous system to handle this conflict, this disappointment, this frustration, like whatever's coming towards me. And so I'm going to shut the animal down like it's being chased by a gazelle.
My nervous system tells me like that might kill you.
Exactly. Yeah, totally.
Mine is drama.
Oh.
I'm an Aries. I can't help it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Leo loves Aries forever. I do need everyone to know that we started our conversation by talking about how good each other's hair looked.
Right.
We spent like a while on it, and I was really into that because Leo and Aries were sun babies.
And I said we need to record.
I mean, sure, somebody's got to keep us on track, but we're looking
awesome.
good. I just need the people to know our hair looks good. So listen, freeze is a totally natural, normal response, but we've been so conditioned to think we're supposed to be showing up in a specific way that we just step into emotional outsourcing with a wellness practice.
Oh, okay. Can you give an example of what that might look like?
Yeah. Making it number one, your whole personality, making it your savior, right? Like the parent figure was supposed to be, and the parent figure never saved you. And so you projected that onto your boyfriend and then your husband and then your job and now wellness, right? It's going to save you from being the not good person that you are, the not good enough. And so if you can wellness well enough, if you can wellness goodly in every way, then you'll be saved. You'll be somehow proclaimed good enough to breathe the air.
Yeah.
Good enough to share this earth with the rest of us.
I see. I call that perfectionism in personal development. Like
exactly
where they want to get the A. I've had many clients say like, I had one client in particular. I remember she went to an event, and it was like a personal growth event. And she was comparing her experience with others, feeling like she wasn't getting the aha moments in this life transformation and things like that. So that's kind of what it sounds like people need to do.
Yeah. And this culture in this moment, this Western culture is so obsessed with the peak experience and the catharsis over integration. Right? Everything's supposed to be this big, amazing, wow.
Yeah.
Which like catharsis is cute, but integration is what changes your life. And yes, I literally have put that on a t-shirt for my people because I really did. We need the slow and steady shifts. We need patience and time at task to shift the nervous system, right? Because the patterns we're talking about, the neural grooves in our brain. So neural grooves it's the information superhighway in the brain from point A to point B. If I speak up, they won't love me. Right? Neural pathway. And so when we're shifting those pathways, when we're changing the stories using neuroplasticity, which is what you and I both do as coaches, we're not just changing your immediate thoughts, we're changing the last so many decades.
Yeah.
Right. And then we can get woo and say we're changing our ancestral lineages.
Epigenetics. Yeah.
Right. Epigenetics plus that spiritual, well, I can go on a whole Andean.
We'll go on a different podcast episode.
Let's do that. I would actually love that. But yeah. And so we need to be patient. We need to be kind. We need to be generous and not compare our path to anyone else's, because that's the core issue is that we're comparing our literally everything to everyone else's everything without actually knowing what's going on.
Right.
Because, we're so uncomfortable being ourselves and being in our bodies, in our experience, that we try to project self out into the world instead of being present in ourselves.
I'm glad you brought that up. And I had really no idea that your answer would go in that direction. And so we're recording this at the beginning of July for sake of transparency and what I'm about to say. And I just wrote a piece. I'm trying to be more of a writer because I was not born to be an influencer. Anyway, more on that later. But I wrote on my personal Facebook page, which I used to do all the time. And it's called The Longest Sunrise. And I basically talk about I call it like the falling apart started in 2020. I turned 45 and it was like physical symptoms. I was having a spiritual breakdown, and it was manifesting through my body. I was finally diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder. I finally realized my marriage was over and it was time for us to part ways. My business was falling apart because I could not do it in my masculine pushing as I had the last 15 years. And so that started 5 years ago. And I was noticing in 2025, I'm like, all right, I'm ready for the for the big transformation. I'm ready for, I don't know if it's going to look like a big career thing that opens up. Like I was waiting for this peak experience, like you just said. And I was on a walk with my dog and I realized like, this feels like the longest sunrise. It feels like the most beautiful, reliable, consistent, slow process of hearing my own voice again, which is slightly different from intuition, but remembering who I was as a child, even like this, it's Chiron that came back for me when I turned 50, like all of these things happening slowly. I don't know if it's just because I work in the personal development space. Like I want that personal or that peak experience, and that's not how it's going.
Mm-mm.
So it's the acceptance of that too, which has felt really like a homecoming of like, oh, okay, it's going to look different than what I'm used to. And so I do feel like that is also, I swear on everything that is holy. I feel like, and I've been doing this work personally for like 20 years, my nervous system is finally starting to heal. And that magic, it feels like magic.
Yeah. It's a really beautiful thing.
It was precious.
It is, because it's the gateway to coming home to yourself. And what else are we here to do? Right? If not to be present with ourselves and then to live from our biggest, fullest open hearts. I believe that is the essential human task. To live from our full open heart. That's what we're here for. Yeah. And things like emotional outsourcing get between us and our heart, because of course they do. Right. And it's not anyone's fault. I mean, it's the system's fault, right? Yeah. But it's not a person's fault.
Right.
Right. Because when we learn when we're little that living from our open heart, being in our open heart is not safe, it's dangerous. What the hell else are you going to do? Right. And so part of my passion is basing this in science.
Yes.
So we can say it's not me, it's actually science. So I was in an abusive marriage, and I would sometimes, when they would just start screaming and screaming and screaming, and I'd be cowering in the bed, I would fall asleep. My body would go into dorsal so hard at 3 p.m, I would, wow. Right. And so then I was made to believe that I was crazy and
you didn't care. Yeah.
Yeah. Why won't you even? No, just science. Right, bro, you totally overwhelmed my nervous system and scene.
So that's kind of like dissociation, right? It just, for you, it looks like sleeping. For other people, it looks like you're still awake, but you're not there.
But you're not there. Lights are on, nobody's home.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've had those moments.
Oh, sure. And so it totally changes the way we relate to self in the world, to know that it's science, to know that it's part and parcel of systems, and that the answer really is you being you.
It sounds simple, but I know it's not.
It's not.
You were talking about like kind of perfectionism and personal growth and people sort of like wanting to get it right. You also say that we do this sort of healing in relationship, like it's not a solo journey. So can you speak to that for a minute?
Yeah, with great joy. So our nervous system, let me define nervous system regulation right quick.
Yes,
because
please.
I think that gets like hashtag confused as well. Nervous system regulation does not mean being calm.
Oh, okay.
It does not mean being Zen. That's not what it is at all. It's being able to have the big emotions and come back home. Right. So it's being dysregulated is when you're on a one-way journey away from self, and being regulated is when you're on a round trip ticket.
Okay.
I've never said that before, but someone write that down.
You write it down. It's yours.
I will. Thank you. It's a good one.
I love a good metaphor.
Good metaphor. Oh, my book is like 90% metaphors. So there you go. Yeah. So it's this round trip ticket back to home where you can say, I am really, really, really angry, but you're not lashing out. You're not hurting others. You're not doing weird guilt garbage.
You're not hurting yourself.
Not hurting yourself. Right. Yeah. You're just in the feeling. And because you are able to be so present in the feeling, you allow your body to process it through and to have the full breadth and depth of the anger, of the sadness, of the disappointment, the frustration, the joy, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then you come home to self.
Okay. I love that you described it. And I think I've heard that before and just never really attributed it also to my own experience. And so I have a partner and it's a newish relationship. It's just under a year now. And that is something that he has identified that I do. That's a new experience for him and a partner. And he explains it. He's like, you do, because my fear, my core wound is that I am too much. I have too many emotions. They overflow and they overflow onto other people, especially my partners. And then my partners reject that. And that's been my history. And so now I'm with someone who can hold the space and not make me wrong for it and just like stand still and anchored. And I'm like, what is this? Anyway, the way he describes his experiencing that is he said, you do have a lot of emotions and you're able to move through emotions on a dime, unlike anything I've ever seen before, but you're also able to move through them quickly and then come back to me.
Right.
And I was like, I don't think I've always been like that. I told him, I said, I think this is new. This is a new trip for me. And part of it comes with being with someone who can hold it.
Right. Because our nervous system's attuned to safety.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, this whole thing is about, is that a lion or a tabby cat, a cobra or a stick in the grass? And the body, the amygdala, the emotion and fear center in the limbic system in the brain is reptilian. It's ancient. It's an old lizard. And it's just quickly sussing out through neuroception, the nervous system understanding of the world, if someone's safe or not. Right. Like, you know how sometimes you meet someone, especially for us as highly attuned ADHDers, this is one of our many superpowers. I'll just meet someone and my whole body goes, nope, 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 nope.
Yep.
Zero, nope, nope.
Yeah. Those are rare when I meet those people, but most usually I love it when it's the other way.
Yeah.
Like meeting you.
That is really nice. Yeah. Like meeting you. Yeah. So our bodies co-regulate, meaning they come back into that grounded, safe, I can be present energy with other people with a quickness that's like unbelievable, right? So it's connecting with others because as humans, we're pack animals. We're dogs, we're not cats. All respect to both, but we are dogs. We need other dogs. And I know this is a podcast, so you can't see, but Andrea's dog, I can just see
her ears,
beautiful golden ear or German Shepherd ears poking out from behind like some paper. And it's one of the top 27 cutest things I've ever seen because it's just ears. And
she wanted to hear better. She came over here. She wanted to hear.
She's like, excuse me, do I have emotional outsourcing?
She needs help with that, to be honest.
I'd like some help, please. She is a German Shepherd. Hip dysplasia and emotional outsourcing.
All in one.
All in one. Yeah. So co-regulation. Well, dogs are amazing co-regulators, right? So the like quantum physics of this is pretty freaking rad. How like your energetic field will meet someone else's energetic field. Will actually change your heart rate, your breathing, your blood pressure, and all sorts of other.
It changes hormones too, doesn't it?
Hormones, pheromones, endocrine system. I mean, it's pretty bonkers. It's pretty amazing.
And then if you stay in a relationship where it's not matching up, your body might give you an autoimmune disorder. I don't know.
Casually, who knows? Who could know? I mean, maybe
I might
like
know.
a third of American women or more could know.
That's science too, right? You're not just making a joke.
Oh, no. Nope. Yeah. I mean, let's save the autoimmune for another conversation. But when we look at the nervous system and being dysregulated for too long, the studies are so clear about the multitude of knock-on effects biochemically of being in a stress state longitudinally over your life.
Yeah.
De-scienced, it really F's you up.
Yeah.
That was the summary, the cliff notes, the TLDR.
The TLDR. Okay. We need to take one more quick ad break. And when we get back, I want to talk more about helping this, which I know you talk a lot about in your book, which is called End Emotional Outsourcing, How to Overcome Your Codependent, Perfectionist, People-Pleasing Habits and Reclaim Your Life. Be right back for some more good stuff.
This podcast is supported by FX's English Teacher. Last year's critically acclaimed series returns to follow Evan, Gwen, and Marky as they vie for their students' divided attention. See why Cosmopolitan called its premiere season a masterclass of comedy, while Glamour raved it's the year's funniest and most heartwarming new comedy series. FX's English Teacher, all new Thursdays on FX. All episodes now streaming on Hulu.
Race the runners. Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. Start converting your B2B audience today. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started today at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
For a limited time at McDonald's, get a Big Mac Extra Value Meal for $8. That means 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun, and medium fries, and a drink. We may need to change that jingle.
Prices and participation may vary.
Okay, we're back. And before the break, I was talking briefly about how it's new for me, how I truly feel like my nervous system has been healing. And I want to just summarize like where I feel like all of that came from. For me personally, I think it has been a combination of a lot of different therapy modalities over the last 2 decades. And I do think that it's going to take as long as it takes for each person. We can't fast forward it. I think talk therapy has helped. I think EMDR has helped. I think cognitive behavioral therapy has helped. Some things have moved the needle a little bit more than the others in retrospect. I also think that psychedelic therapy has moved the needle a lot for me in the last 2 years, coupled with making some decisions like leaving my marriage, getting help for my autoimmune, and just making sure that and setting some boundaries and things like that. So all that to say, I know that a lot of people hear the word somatic therapy and they think it means meditation, yoga, breath work. So can you explain what some other somatic tools really look like and maybe even from your book? Tell us everything.
Somatic, soma means body in Greek. And so somatics is really about a return to the body in its wholeness, right? To throw Descartes right under the bus with the whole mind-body dualism thing. We really have this problem here in the West where we don't think of the mind and body as one.
Right.
Right? We talk about, oh, my brain and oh, my liver, as though they're separate. My digestion, as though it's separate. Right? And somatics is this invitation to come back into a body-led, body-guided way of moving through the world. Susan McConnell, one of my absolute sheroes, says, and I'll paraphrase it, somatics reminds us that it's not that we have a body, it's that we are a body.
Yeah.
And I think that's so potent. Yeah, we do stretching and movement and dance and yoga and breath work and all these things. And we can do it from this framework of, oh, I'm doing something good for my body. Versus pausing to step into presence, to be the body breathing.
Yeah.
To be the body moving, which for so many of us is a profoundly political move, in addition to a profoundly liberatory move. And is one that when we think of the goal of overcoming emotional outsourcing being a return to self, it must be through the body.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's all there is.
It's all we have. Like really, like at the end of the day,
what you do it's all there is. Yeah. And so when I talk about the steps to overcoming emotional outsourcing, we start in the body. So my framework is an invitation to be brave, and B is for body first. So we come into the body in a moment when we sort of notice ourselves saying yes when we want to say no, kowtowing, changing the subject, managing someone's feelings, doing whatever it is that keeps us stuck in those patterns of inauthenticity and outsourcing. We come into the body and we orient our nervous systems, which if people walk away with just this one tool, it's life-changing in its almost ridiculous simplicity. When we are activated, triggered, shut down in the nervous system, our body, in a way, and I'm oversimplifying, doesn't know when we are. So it doesn't know if we're 6 or 16 or 26. It doesn't know. It
doesn't have an
makes
age.
this like temporal leap back to when it was scary. Right. And so that's why so often when there's conflict or whatever, you watch people shrink into being a child because that's what your nervous system's doing.
Or when we get back together with our family of origin for like an event, everybody starts behaving like they did when they were children.
Like teenagers. Oh, that's the
myself
worst.
included.
Oh, come on. Like literally all of us reenact all of it.
I'm like, why am I feeling like this? I'm like,
why am I stomping my foot? God, I'm a grown up. No, they're not. So we orient the nervous system, and we do that by looking around. And that's what I mean, that people are like, come on, really? You've studied this for like over a decade and you're telling me to look around?
Yeah.
But yeah,
but we ground.
Talking about, let's get complicated. But it's Instagram that makes it look complicated. It's really just about looking around the room you're in and taking in what's there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a presence practice. Body first, orient your nervous system, feel your butt in the chair, put your hand on your heart, come into the body. And part of that as well is, the body carries the truth. That's what somatics reminds us. The direction from the body, the guidance from the body is our most core grounded truth. Whereas our brain, it's kilobytes of data, like every millisecond, just rushing through the default mode networks, the reticular activating system, and all these systems that carry our conditioning, our socialization, our family lore, our family stories, everything that we were taught instead of who we are. So body first. We let the body recognize the outsourcing, right? Oh, God, I'm watching their face to see if I'm okay. Yeah. Oh, I'm about to outsource this decision because I don't want to disappoint anyone else. I'd rather someone else disappoint them. We take a moment, hand on heart. Oh, and then we name it. I'm doing a survival skill. It's a survival skill. You don't need to call yourself codependent. Oh, I'm having a codependent slip. There's no wagon. You can't fall off. It's a survival skill. Then we ask ourselves what we really want. And again, we turn somatically to the body for the initial guidance. And this is going to be really tricky for most of us, right? Like you said before, this sounds easy, but it's not. Yeah.
It's awkward at first. Mm-hmm.
It's awkward. And it can be like, if you have that perfectionistic mindset, it can really piss you off, right? Because you're not doing it right. I'm not hearing my body. I'm not feeling my body. My body's not telling me anything. What's wrong with me?
You guys can't see her on video, but she's just doing like the petting motion. Just like turn the volume down.
Well, because we go to 27. And this, again, back to this, like, we live in such a world that's like one pill for one ill. We need the silver bullet. We need the catharsis. We need the thing external to me to immediately change me. What we need is gentle hand on heart, a patient out breath, and beautiful body. What do I want? What do I want? And even if the answer is, I don't know, or even if it's foggy and you hear no kind of nothing, or even if you clearly hear what your body actually wants, but it's too scary to act on it, the listening is everything. The listening is so key and so vital, because what we need to do when we've been outsourcing our whole lives is rebuild trust with self, because we don't realize how much that gets eroded, right?
I have so many things I want to underscore and comment on. And we're sort of running out of time. I want to say this one thing though, because you talked about, I get excited too for people. Like when people like you come and talk about this, partly because I've experienced this round trip that you talked about, and I've experienced this level of healing, which is so exciting. And part of me is like, fucking finally, but okay, I had to wait a minute for it. You mentioned the default, what is it called?
Default mode network.
Default mode network. Yes. I always get that wrong. The default mode network. And from what I understand, when you do psychedelic therapy, that gets shut off.
Isn't that
temporarily?
Yep.
Yes.
So
and
good.
then your subconscious like, guess who's coming to dinner?
Yep.
And so that's where you see a lot of things, you feel a lot of things, you hear a lot of things, depending on how your brain works and how your healing is going to be. But for me, it felt like when that got shut down, especially I'm thinking of like a couple of my ayahuasca ceremonies, it felt like if you could imagine like a kind of a darkish room and there's a trap door on the floor. And then all of a sudden, like these very fast, like black ghosts started coming out. And I was like, oh, fuck me. Like here we go. Like, and I got to dance with them, and it just like, and it was my shadow sides. It was the, all the different versions of me growing up, and like all of these really, and I know it sounds scary for me to explain it that way, but it wasn't in the moment. I knew I was safe. And part of how I knew I was safe was because of the place that I was at doing it. And one of the things that was so helpful during the process, which I'm assuming is like, how you do this, especially like if you're in person working with someone, is having someone there to reassure me that not only was I safe, and for me, it helped that they were women, but also like things like telling me to slow down my breathing. Cause it was like one particular time where I was like, am I dying? Like, in essentially kind of, I was, it was like having an ego death.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that I was like vibrating and my breath was irregular. And this woman laid over me and she would just like gently laid her hand on me and told me, you know, soft breath, soft breath. And I was like, oh my God, sometimes it's that easy. Sometimes it's that simple.
Yep.
It might not be easy, but it's the simplicity of just slowing your breath down and like remembering that, oh, I can be in charge of certain things, like the pace of my breath in this moment.
Yeah. I mean, the simplest advice I give is to start with noticing. So we don't call it mindfulness because that freaks people out. We certainly don't call it meditation because that freaks even more people out.
Yeah.
Just noticing.
I say pay attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the morning, before you make a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, ask your body, hey, body, what do you want? Coffee or tea this morning? It's going to pick what it's always picked most of the time.
Sure.
It's not the point. It's irrelevant. It's the asking.
The act of asking.
So we need to normalize and create a neural groove that says, my knowing me matters. My wants, my needs, my desires in this literal moment. What do I want for lunch? Personally, I'd like a Reuben. If someone could bring me one, that'd be great. Extra pickle. But you know, what do you actually want? So start asking, start getting to know it in the minutia, in the tiny things that aren't going to activate your nervous system. So don't start with, my parents want me to do XYZ career. Is it the right one for me? Get out of here. No. Do I want a burger? And then get quiet and listen to the animal. Listen to your physical body.
Yeah.
I say listen as a catch-all. You might not hear something. You might feel something. You might just know something. But pay attention to notice the animal that is you. It changes every little detail of life. And I mean to sound overly dramatic because you're an Aries and I'm a Leo. And what else are we doing?
If we're not doing it dramatically,
who are we?
Even fire signs. Yeah.
No, we absolutely are not. So.
Oh my gosh. I could ask you a million more questions and I would love for you to come back for like a part 2.
Let's do it.
I feel like this conversation would be kind of cherry on top if we at least touched on sexuality and desire and things like that. Because to me, it's just like directly related to everything we just talked about.
Yeah. I'm free later. Let's record that.
Cliffhanger.
Oh my God, it's so exciting.
TBD. Yeah, that's important. All right. Well, where can people go to grab your book, End Emotional Outsourcing?
So you can go to my website, Beatriz, which is Beatriz with a Z. It's en español, Beatriz, Albina, ALB as in bunnies, INA/book. Easy does
that
it.
link will be in the show notes.
Yep,
and it comes out in a few days if people are listening to this in real time in September. So do you have any like free stuff that people should know about?
So much free stuff. I'll be honest. I have the free stuff you told me to make.
Oh, that's right.
Like 2 years ago, you were like, okay, so here's what you're going to want to do. And I said, yes, ma'am. And I took copious notes and I literally made everything that week before the book was even edited.
Good. Okay.
Because I listened to you and I say, yes, ma'am.
Then I'm going to go over there and see what it is too. And I know that I have a lot of interviews here over on the podcast, everyone. And I want to just take a moment to highlight your work because you are someone that I took advantage. When you gave me your phone number the last time you were on, I'm like, we're friends. And I'm going to also message you about my own personal. I trust that you can set good boundaries if it's a no. And yeah. And so I say all that because I respect you both as a professional and as a human. So thank you for doing this work in the world. It is so important, especially right now in 2025 as the world burns. And I think that these types of neuroses, if I could use that word, are sort of coming to the surface and people are like, should I work on this or should I try to save my country wherever you are? And I think both can be true. And it's still important. It's still important.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Because the central goal of fascism is to dysregulate us.
Yeah. Ooh, say that again, please.
The central goal of fascism is to dysregulate us. they head right for hope.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's a specific way for people who are socialized as women.
Women, people who have, of the global majority, who have been made minorities, right? They go for the people who are pushing the boundaries, who are making us think. Why are they going for trans folks? What the hell did trans folks ever do to anybody except up everyone's style game?
Yeah.
Thank you. Why? Because they're inviting us to be more present, more somatically engaged.
Be ourselves.
I'm going to hush because let's like,
because we'll go over it. Yeah. And
but let's talk. We're going to talk about sexuality because it's the same issue: sexuality and fascism.
Can that be the title of the episode?
I wish it would be. I'm going to put that on a T-shirt with your face,
with fire behind me. Okay,
absolutely.
Everyone
Don't threaten me with a good time. Yeah.
Beatriz, Albina, that link will be in the show notes of your free stuff with your book, End Emotional Outsourcing. I hope that everyone goes and gets it and signs up for your free classes and things that you have, because the mind-body connection is so important. I love the way that you talk about it. I'm sure that my people do too. Listeners, thank you so much for being here and sharing your time with me and my guests. I know that your time is incredibly valuable, and I have such gratitude that you choose to spend it here. And remember, it's our life's journey to make ourselves better humans and our life's responsibility to make the world a better place. Bye for now. Hey everyone, thanks again for listening. I would be so incredibly grateful if you haven't done so already, if you could leave a review of this podcast on Apple Podcasts. Super easy if you already listen to your shows over there. But if you don't, or maybe you have the app on your phone, but you listen to the show on a different app, if you could leave a review for this show, it matters so much. I wish I could express how much it matters. I also wish that it didn't matter so much, but alas, it does. So if you haven't already, please go review and rate the show. It would mean so much to me. And thank you so much. I hope you have an amazing day.
Time of my life. I never felt this way before.
From building timelines to assigning the right people and even spotting risks across dozens of projects, Monday Sidekick knows your business, thinks ahead, and takes action. One click on the star and consider it done.
And I owe it all to you.
Try Monday Sidekick, AI you'll love to use on Monday.com.